So from Dan Chacon on Facebook, so thanks for submitting this. I actually think it's a really good question. Assuming that the XFL will succeed, which
we think it will,
which all four of us here
we
believe
would not
that
be
they
here
will.
right now if
That's
we didn't
right.
think it was going to be.
Where should the league consider expanding to? Now he mentions four here: Chicago, Boston, San Diego, and Oakland. So I'll leave.
So
that
let's
to
start
you
with
guys.
those four that he mentioned. So it was what? Chicago, Boston, San Diego, and what was it? Oakland?
Not Oakland.
San Diego and Oakland. Yeah.
Which one do you think is the best candidate out
It's
of
not
those
Oakland,
four?
I don't think.
Yeah, and plus playing in Oakland Stadium would be awful.
Yeah.
That place is a dump.
Yeah.
That's why Oakland's leaving.
So what?
I'll tell you
Maybe
what, I went to
think-
Chicago one time, and that was a very fun city. Like,
I think Chicago's a really good
Yeah.
city out of all of these. I think that's probably your best bet. But the only thing, and I think I know where you're going. Go ahead, Kenny. Go. I think Chicago, logically, in my mind, makes a lot of sense. But as far as attendance, I don't know if they'll get the attendance.
And I don't even say it's attendance because the first Chicago XFL team didn't really draw. But
That's kind of what I mean. Yeah.
here's the thing: I love Chicago, but could you imagine playing football in Chicago in February? No way, dude. It's like
Well, I mean, they play in December.
I don't
You
know.
know,
but
with the Bears.
I
they
don't
definitely
know,
never play in
man.
February.
Dude.
Well,
I think,
but-
I think
but-
February is worse than December.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the league goes through all the way till what? End of May.
April.
April.
End of April.
Yeah, end of
Yeah.
April. So, yeah, I mean,
About a month there.
That'd be a tough sell to get.
Dude, 'cause you remember
you'd
the
have to
mi-
be
well-
very strategic in your.
Remember the
schedule.
Minnesota Vikings played that outdoor playoff game
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it was what, like 0 degrees
no,
outside?
I totally get
Below
Chicago's
zero.
really cold in the wintertime, all that kind of stuff. But, like, New York will probably be equally as cold.
I don't know. I mean, it'll be similar,
Or,
but
or
that's
if
the
you
same
went to
thing
Boston.
with New England.
Not as
Yeah, if
windy.
you went to Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, I
it'd be
get
butt
why.
cold.
I get why
Yeah.
you go to Boston because they're
Yeah.
they're such passionate fans.
Yeah.
But the Patriots have been good for over a freaking decade. So
yeah.
obviously they're going to support the Patriots
Yeah.
and be diehard fans.
It's a good just sports area. I mean,
Yeah.
just all their teams.
Well,
they
Boston
support
really
well.
embraces their sports.
Yeah.
Like they might not embrace sports.
I think you mentioned
as a
Well, it helps that-
Charlotte.
yeah,
Pastel.
I do. I think Charlotte would be a good talent. But I'm going back and forth on it because you look at what the XFL is doing. They're doing it in major markets. I don't think
Yeah,
Charlotte necessarily is a major market.
Yeah. Charlotte did just get an MLS team.
But they do have a good fan base. Like, I think they're good sports fans down there. So I think Charlotte would be.
I mean, is it any less than Tampa? You know,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
Honestly, I think Tampa would be. Or
No,
not,
I meant in,
Charlotte
I
would
meant
be
in
more
terms of the
successful than
size
Tampa.
of
No,
the
you're
city,
right.
the market.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
do.
Charlotte's booming.
Yeah,
Charlotte's
Charlotte
a
would be
complete
a bigger
booming
market than
as
Tampa.
far as people, though.
You said it before.
Yeah.
Tampa is more of kind of like a retirement area outside of the,
Well,
on the outskirts.
we have
right?
we have a mutual friend who lives down there, and did you talk to him? And it's just like there's no sports.
I mean,
down there.
they've
Yeah.
struggled with people
Yeah.
supporting their teams, but I think Charlotte is a.
I think
it
Charlotte's
would
a
fit
decent-
nicely in that that East Coast lineup.
Yeah.
Hey, what about?
Well, I think Philly or Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
What about
would be
Vegas?
big. Ooh.
Oh, I think Vegas is a home run. I think that's where they have to go.
They
I
have
think
to go to
that they
Vegas,
have to go
right?
to Vegas.
But with the Raiders going there next year, like, do you think it'd be too much competition in terms of marketing and building a fan base?
Here's the thing. If the league embraces gambling and betting
That'd
and
be huge.
daily fantasy,
Which hopefully they
sport,
will.
which hopefully they will, which we're all four proponents of, I think Vegas is an ideal spot.
'Cause, I mean,
I think that kind of makes it a flagship franchise.
Vegas
actually.
Vegas was like a flagship franchise for the first XFL, but they didn't have any competition. Like, you're
Yeah.
bringing a new NFL team.
Well,
Like, that's exciting
when
stuff
they got
for
the
Vegas,
ice
so-
hockey team, the Knights, right, the Golden Knights, that fan base. I mean, they
They're
acted like
rabid.
they were there for 50 years. Like, they surrounded that team, and,
Yep.
and
which I think they're going to do with the Raiders. I think they're going to do the same thing with the Raiders.
they're
The Raiders have a home run by moving there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. But my question is, they're going to all be so focused on this new NFL franchise. Are they going to worry about an XFL
I
franchise?
think
get
they
they're
will.
different times of the
It's
year.
when
But
you have so many different people coming to Las Vegas that they're just looking for something to do.
Yeah.
So outside of betting, if I want to be there for a week, I would love to go catch a football game as well. It's another event, and I bet the events there would be crazy.
Well, Vegas is an event town.
They know how to put on a show.
There's just events all the time.
Well,
That's what
and
they
look,
do.
let's
It's got to be Vegas.
and let's face it,
It's got to
too,
be
It's
Vegas.
gotta be.
It's got to be Vegas.
Vegas supports UNLV. Like, people go to UNLV football games and UNLV basketball
Right,
games.
yep.
Like, they're not like chumps out there.
Right.
And UNLV
It's
football
terrible.
is awful.
They're awful.
They are
but people
bad.
go.
They are.
The people
bad.
go. Yeah, I like the Vegas one, man. I like Charlotte a lot. That's a good one. I
Yep.
think those are two solid ones.
I wonder if they're going to stick, if expansion ever does come into play, are they going to stick with their original strategy of, like, the biggest markets
Yeah.
we can find?
Yeah.
Other than St. Louis, they have an
I mean,
NFL
Vegas
team.
is a big market, though. I mean, there's a lot.
But I'm not talking about Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just,
Oh, just in
their
general.
overall
Just in general.
strategy.
Okay.
Now, it would have to be two
Right.
teams, right? Because you don't want to
I don't
have
know.
you don't want to have imbalanced conferences, right? Like you would want to add if you were going to
I would
expand.
imagine.
You want a
Two
West
go to
Coast and an
10.
East Coast.
A West and an East Coast.
So
team.
what would so Charlotte would be
In Vegas would
In
be-
Vegas, Charlotte and Vegas.
But I think Philadelphia and or
Phillies.
Pittsburgh would be a decent one. I don't
Pittsburgh
know
would be
if
good.
Pittsburgh could do a lot. I don't know if there's enough people in there to support it. But, so for example, like Pittsburgh has the Penguins, the Steel. Like it's 3. It's not a 4 league city, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a basketball team.
Their setup
is it big
so
enough?
silly. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I have,
That
yes.
setup
Yeah.
is silly.
But Philadelphia's is too,
and I
man.
hate
Not a
it.
Pittsburgh
I hate
fan.
to say it
I
because
hate
I'm not a
Philly.
Philly fan at all, but it is a cool setup.
They
that Philly
all
has.
3 places are right there, and you have this awesome sports bar right in the middle. You have the Eagles Stadium. You have where the Sixers play, and then you have and also the Flyers, and then you have the baseball stadium, and they all share a parking lot. Like it's kind of silly.
yeah, I mean, the West Coast is a little more tough. So for
Yeah.
me, like, do they? And I mentioned, do they stick to the same strategy, or do they go more of the AAF style and say, well, San Antonio brought in 25,000, 30,000 a game, like. They were dying for a football
It's a good
team.
question. It is.
So do
It's
you
a
go
good
with like
question.
a San?
It's a good
I know you
question.
have 2 teams in Texas already, but if you
Texas is
like this
football.
market has been tested and it works, like and you could have some cool rivalries if you bring in a team to
Yeah.
San Antonio. I know it's a little bit smaller, but it's also
What
a really
about
cool
Nashville?
city.
I feel like Nashville won in the
And I was going to
area.
mention Nashville as
Yeah.
another, even though that wasn't an AAF team.
Right,
It's
right,
a little
but
bit
I'm
smaller
talking
of a
about another
market.
area. Like, Memphis didn't work out too well, I don't think. But
Yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, and I like Memphis, but Memphis doesn't even. The Memphis Tigers don't even sell out an AAC championship game
Yeah.
there. So I mean,
Well, I mean, when you compare Memphis to Nashville, I
Yeah.
mean, Nashville is the bigger, the brighter city, a lot more people. Like I think just the opportunity in
It's
Nashville.
just more glamour name.
It's just more right. It's which is what the XFL is trying to do. They're trying to make this a glamorous brand. Yep.
What's up, football fans? Visit xflchalktalk.com to get the latest analysis, discussions, interviews, and news from around the league. You can also sign up for our email list so you can receive notifications on when content is posted focused on your favorite XFL team.